listen to me. 2026 is not just another year on the calendar. This is your year. This is the year you stop making excuses, stop blaming the world, and start owning your story. You spent too many years waiting for the right time, the right people, the right opportunity. But hear me, you owe it to yourself to make it happen. No. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to hand you your dreams. You've got to want it so bad that you're willing to sacrifice sleep, comfort, and every distraction standing between you and your greatness. In 2026, it's personal. This isn't about proving people wrong anymore. This is about proving yourself right, about waking up every day and saying, I'm doing this for me, for the person I promised I'd become. So when that alarm clock goes off, don't hit snooze, hit PR post. When life hits you hard, don't quit, push harder, because you owe it to your future self, your potential, your destiny. This is the year you rise up and say, I'm all in. No more halfway living. No more almost. I owe it to myself, and I'm collecting that debt in 2026. Listen to me, because I need you to really hear this with your heart. Stop waiting. Stop waiting for the perfect time, the perfect situation, the perfect motivation, because let me tell you right now, there is no such thing. 2026 is not going to wait for you to get ready. It's not going to knock on your door and ask if you're comfortable enough to start. Life doesn't work like that. Life rewards the bold, the hungry, the ones who move even when they're scared. You've been standing at the edge of your potential for too long, waiting for a sign, waiting for someone to tell you it's your moment. But I'm here to tell you, this is it. 2026 is your year to take full responsibility for your life. You've got dreams, you've got goals, you've got visions that keep you awake at night. But dreams don't become reality through wishing. They come alive through action. And the truth is, too many people die with dreams still locked inside them because they kept waiting for the stars to align, waiting for the money, waiting for people's approval, waiting until they felt ready. But ready is a myth. You don't get ready and then start, you start, and through the process, you become ready. That's how it works. You've got to decide that 2026 is the year where you stop being passive about your own destiny. I know life hasn't been fair. I know you've had setbacks, disappointments, people who didn't believe in you, moments where everything fell apart. But none of that gives you permission to stay still. Because the truth is, no matter what's happened to you, there's still a version of you deep inside that's capable of rising above it all. You've got to take ownership of your time, your mindset, your habits, your actions. Because once you do that, nobody can take it from you. Stop waiting for somebody to call you, to pick you, to save you. Nobody's coming. You've got to save yourself. You've got to become the hero of your own story. 2026 isn't about hoping something good happens. It's about making something good happen. When you wake up in the morning, you've got to remind yourself nobody owes you anything. Not the government, not your family, not your boss, not your friends. The only person responsible for your next move is you. That's what taking full responsibility means. It means you stop pointing fingers and start finding solutions. You say you want success, but success has a price, and that price is responsibility. It's easy to say, someday I'll do it, but someday isn't a date on the calendar. 2026 is staring you in the face, and it's asking, are you going to waste another year, or are you finally going to do what you said you'd do? Because here's the truth. Nobody remembers the person who almost made it. Nobody celebrates the person who talked about their dreams but never chased them. It's not about what you say you'll do. It's about what you do consistently day after day, even when it's hard, even when it hurts, even when you don't see results right away. Taking responsibility is heavy. It means you can't blame your parents, your past, your environment, your circumstances anymore. It means when things go wrong, you look in the mirror and say, I need to fix this. And that's hard because accountability hurts. But that's where your power is. When you take responsibility, you take control. You stop being a victim of your situation and start becoming the architect of your future. Maybe last year you had excuses. Maybe last year you said, I just don't have the time, but you've got 24 hours just like everybody else. The question isn't whether you have time, it's how you use it. You've got people out there building businesses, transforming their lives, healing their minds, and chasing their goals with the same 24 hours you've got. The difference, they stopped waiting. They took action. They stopped hoping for change and became the change. Every day you delay is a day you'll never get back. Time doesn't care about your excuses. It keeps moving whether you're ready or not. You've got to stop treating your life like a rehearsal. This is the main performance. This is it. There are no second takes, no do-overs, no rewind button. Every single day that passes is either building your dream or burying it. And the scary part, most people won't realize which one they're doing until it's too late. I want you to think about how many opportunities you've missed because you were waiting. Waiting for the money, waiting for the courage, waiting for somebody to believe in you. And the sad truth is, the more you wait, the harder it gets to start. Momentum works both ways. The longer you hesitate, the heavier that first step feels. But once you move, once you start building, once you take control, you'll feel the shift. You'll feel that power that comes from doing instead of dreaming. You owe it to yourself to make this year the year of accountability. That means no more excuses, no more blaming the system, your job, your parents, your friends, your luck. You can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond. And your response determines everything. If life hits you, hit back harder. If something doesn't work, adjust and keep moving. Because quitting doesn't solve anything. It just guarantees that you'll stay exactly where you are. You've got to stop looking for motivation and start building discipline. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is permanent. Motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you going when motivation fades. You've got to train your mind to keep moving forward even when it doesn't feel good. When you're tired, when you're stressed, when you're doubting yourself, that's when responsibility shows up. That's when winners are made. Every time you choose action over excuses, you're building a new identity. You're telling yourself, I'm in control. I make things happen. And once you get that mindset, everything changes. You stop needing external validation. You stop needing permission. You start realizing that the power to transform your life has always been inside you. Look, I know it's not easy. It's never been easy. But easy never made anyone great. The people who succeed aren't the ones who had it all figured out. They're the ones who decided to figure it out no matter what. They made mistakes. They fell. They failed. But they got back up again and again because they understood waiting doesn't produce progress. Action does. You've been through enough in your life to know that nothing changes until you do. You've seen what waiting brings. The same routine, the same frustration, the same unfulfilled potential. So why keep doing the same thing expecting different results? 2026 can be the year everything shifts for you, but it starts with one decision. The decision to stop waiting. When you take responsibility, you take power. You stop being a passenger in your own life. You start steering the wheel. You start realizing that even if you can't control the storm, you can control the sail. You might not know exactly where you're headed, but you can make sure you're not stuck in the same place anymore. The truth is, life doesn't reward people who wait. It rewards people who work. It rewards those who show up even when nobody's watching. It rewards those who keep grinding when nobody claps. It rewards those who refuse to let their past define their future. Taking responsibility means showing up for yourself even when you're tired, even when you failed before, even when you don't feel like it. 2026 is not just a new year, it's a new chapter. And how that chapter gets written is entirely up to you. You can't keep blaming circumstances for where you are. You've got to own it, because the moment you do, everything starts to change. You start thinking differently, acting differently, living differently. Responsibility gives you freedom, freedom from excuses, from fear, from regret. You've been blessed with talents, with opportunities, with a mind that's capable of greatness. But none of that matters if you don't use it. Taking full responsibility means saying, if it's going to happen, it's up to me. It means showing up every single day and giving your best, even when nobody notices. It means taking pride in your journey, no matter how small the steps are. Because those small steps, they add up. They build momentum. They create transformation. And I'm telling you right now, if you stop waiting, if you decide that 2026 is the year you own your life, nothing can stop you. Not your past, not your mistakes, not your fears. Because once you take responsibility, you become unstoppable. You become the kind of person who doesn't need luck or permission. You create your own opportunity through effort, faith, and consistency. So stop waiting for things to get easier. Stop waiting for someone to believe in you. Stop waiting for the perfect moment, because it doesn't exist. The moment is now. The responsibility is yours. 2026 is calling your name. And it's asking one question: are you ready to own it? ChatGPT said, you don't owe explanations to anyone. You owe results to yourself. You spent too much of your life trying to make people understand your vision, trying to convince them why you're doing what you're doing, trying to explain your grind, your hustle, your silence, your focus. But the truth is, most people will never see what you see. They'll never feel what you feel. They weren't given the dream you were given. So stop wasting energy trying to make them believe in something that was never meant for them to understand. You owe no one an explanation for chasing your purpose. The only thing you owe is to yourself the results, the progress, the proof that you stayed true to your mission. Too many people live their lives performing for approval. They post, they share, they talk just to prove they're doing something. But real success doesn't come from what people see. It comes from what you do when no one is watching. The grind isn't supposed to be glamorous. The journey isn't supposed to be understood by everyone. Sometimes it's lonely. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's you in a room questioning if it's even worth it. But that's the cost of greatness. You can't chase your dream and please everybody at the same time. You've got to choose validation or vision, applause or progress, people's opinions or your purpose. When you truly understand that you owe yourself results, not explanations, your entire mindset changes. You stop caring about what people think. You stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 10. You stop explaining why you're working late, why you disappeared, why you're different now. Because you realize that explanations don't move you forward. Execution does. Every second you spend trying to justify your choices is a second stolen from the work that could prove them unnecessary. You owe yourself results because nobody else can pay that debt. Nobody else can live your dream. Nobody else can fulfill your purpose. Nobody else can carry your discipline. The vision you have was planted in you for a reason. That means it's your responsibility to bring it to life. You owe yourself the effort it takes to reach your potential. You owe yourself the discipline it takes to get up early, to stay focused, to say no to distractions. You owe yourself the grind, the sacrifice, the growth. Because at the end of the day, you're the one who has to live with the outcome of your choices. People talk too much about what they're going to do and not enough about what they've actually done. They want recognition before they produce results. But listen, results speak louder than any words ever could. You don't need to tell people what you're about to do. Let your consistency show them. Let your results be the conversation. Let your success make the noise. Because when the results come, nobody can argue with them. Nobody can question the grind that built them. The moment you stop explaining yourself, you free up your energy for action. You start realizing that silence is powerful. You don't have to announce every move, every plan, every goal. You just have to execute. The ones who win aren't the loudest. They're the most focused. They're the ones who keep their heads down, do the work, and let the results do the talking. Every time you choose work over words, every time you choose focus over approval, you build momentum. That's how winners move, quietly, consistently, confidently. You owe yourself the proof that you didn't give up. You owe yourself the version of you that believed when nobody else did. You owe it to the younger version of you who dreamed big but didn't have the power yet to make it real. You owe it to the future version of you who's depending on the decisions you make right now. That's who you're doing this for. Not the doubters, not the critics, not the people watching from the sidelines. You're doing this for you. When you owe yourself results, you stop living from emotion and start living from principle. You stop saying, I'll work when I feel like it, and you start saying, I'll work because I said I would. You start honoring your own word. You become accountable to yourself, not to applause, not to validation. That's where true discipline lies, in the quiet moments when nobody's watching, but you still show up because you promised yourself you would. That's what builds character. That's what builds legacy. You don't need to justify your hustle to people who aren't contributing to your mission. You don't owe explanations to people who don't understand your journey because they weren't assigned your destination. You can't expect small minds to comprehend big dreams. And you can't slow down to make everyone comfortable with your pace. When you start winning, some people will criticize you, misunderstand you, or even walk away. And that's okay. Let them. Because you're not working for their comfort, you're working for your calling. It's time to stop letting opinions shape your path. People will talk whether you win or lose, whether you move fast or slow, whether you stay silent or speak out. You can't control what they say, but you can control what you do. Let them talk while you work. Let them guess while you grind. Let them doubt while you build. When your results show up, they'll speak on your behalf. And by then, you won't even need to say a word. You owe yourself the satisfaction of proving that the dream was worth it. You owe yourself the peace that comes from knowing you didn't quit when it got hard. You owe yourself the moment when you can look in the mirror and say, I did it. That moment doesn't come from talking, it comes from doing. It doesn't come from explaining. It comes from executing. Every decision, every late night, every failure you learn from. It's all part of the debt you're paying to your own potential. This journey isn't about pleasing people. It's about fulfilling purpose. You don't need everyone to understand the path you're on. You just need to stay true to it. Because when you finally deliver the results, the same people who doubted you will ask how you did it. But by then, you won't be interested in explaining. You'll be too focused on the next level. You owe it to yourself to stop talking about what you're going to do and start showing what you've done. You owe it to yourself to turn your plans into progress, your words into work, your intentions into impact. You owe yourself proof. Proof that you can do what you said you'd do. Proof that your dreams were possible. Proof that your consistency mattered, because once you produce results, you'll never need to explain yourself again. Discipline, consistency, and hunger will define your 2026 success. You've got to understand something. Talent might open the door, but discipline keeps you inside the room. Everybody starts excited. Everybody starts motivated. But the difference between those who win and those who wish is discipline. Discipline means doing it when you don't feel like it. Discipline means showing up when it's boring, when it's tiring, when no one's watching. Because anybody can grind when it's easy, but the real ones grind when it's hard. The real ones don't wait for the perfect mood. They do it because they made a commitment to themselves. Consistency is what multiplies discipline. One day of effort won't change your life. 1 week of focus won't rewrite your story. It's what you do day after day, week after week, month after month, that builds results. Consistency is not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about showing up, even when yesterday didn't go as planned. It's about staying locked in when progress feels slow. Success isn't built in the spotlight. It's built in repetition. Every rep, every hour, every small decision adds up. You don't see it immediately, but it compounds. That's how transformation works. Slowly, silently, then suddenly. And hunger, that's your fuel. That's the fire that makes you get up earlier, stay up later, and keep going when others quit. Hunger isn't about greed. It's about purpose. It's about having that burning reason deep inside that won't let you settle. You've got to want it more than your comfort. You've got to want it more than sleep. You've got to want it more than approval, because hunger pushes you through the pain. Hunger turns pressure into power. Hunger keeps you moving when motivation dies out. 2026 will test you. It's not going to hand you success just because you want it. It's going to challenge you, break your patterns, expose your weaknesses, and force you to grow. That's why you need discipline, consistency, and hunger working together. Discipline keeps you focused. Consistency keeps you building. Hunger keeps you alive. You can't have one without the other. You can be disciplined for a week, but without consistency, you'll burn out. You can be consistent, but without hunger, you'll plateau. You can be hungry, but without discipline, you'll waste energy on emotion instead of execution. The magic happens when all three align. Discipline means saying no to distractions. It means training your mind to stay on mission. Every time you choose discipline over desire, you build strength. Every time you do the work instead of making excuses, you build trust with yourself. You stop breaking promises to your future. You start proving to yourself that you're reliable, that when you say you'll do something, you mean it. That self-trust is powerful. It becomes the foundation of everything you achieve, because when you can rely on yourself, you stop needing external validation. You stop doubting your potential. You just work. Consistency is how you separate yourself from the crowd. Everybody can start strong, but very few finish strong. You've seen it. People make big resolutions, big announcements, big promises, but they fade away after the first obstacle. They lose focus when the excitement fades. That's where consistency wins. Consistency doesn't care about feelings. It's not emotional, it's intentional. You wake up and do the work, whether you're excited or not. You follow the plan even when progress is invisible. You build brick by brick until you've got something real. And when you look back, you realize that while everyone else was talking about it, you were quietly doing it. Hunger is what gives those long days meaning. Hunger is what reminds you why you started when things get hard. You've got to feed that hunger every day. You feed it with gratitude, with vision, with focus. You remind yourself what's at stake: your future, your potential, your legacy. When you're hungry, obstacles become fuel. Setbacks become lessons. Every time you fail, that hunger whispers, "We're not done yet." It keeps you fighting, keeps you learning, keeps you growing. There's going to be days in 2026 when you won't feel like moving, days when nothing seems to work, days when it feels like everyone else is winning but you. That's when these three principles matter most. That's when you've got to lock in and remind yourself discipline is what builds strength in the dark. Consistency is what brings results to light. Hunger is what keeps the flame alive through it all. Don't let emotions dictate your execution. Let purpose drive it. Discipline means you control your habits before your habits control you. You decide what you consume, how you think, how you spend your time. Every choice either builds or breaks you. Discipline isn't punishment, it's protection. It protects your potential from being wasted on temporary pleasure. It protects your goals from distractions disguised as opportunities. Every time you say no to something that doesn't serve your purpose, you're saying yes to something greater. Consistency means you keep your word to yourself. It's easy to impress others, but it's harder to stay accountable when nobody's watching. You've got to hold yourself to a standard that doesn't change with your mood. You've got to keep showing up for yourself, because if you don't, who will? Every act of consistency requires your brain to trust effort over excuses. It teaches you that momentum doesn't come from intensity. It comes from discipline repeated over time. Hunger means never getting comfortable. The moment you think you've arrived, you start declining. You've got to stay hungry even after success, even after progress. You've got to chase growth like you're still at the bottom, because hunger is not about where you are. It's about who you're becoming. It's that inner drive that tells you there's always another level, always more to learn, always more to give. When you combine these three, discipline, consistency, and hunger, you become unstoppable. You become the kind of person who doesn't depend on circumstances. You don't wait for motivation. You create momentum. You don't fear failure. You study it. You don't chase approval. You chase purpose. You start realizing that success isn't about luck. It's about alignment, aligning your habits, your mindset, and your hunger with your goals. Every champion you admire lives by these principles. They didn't get there by chance. They got there by choice. They built discipline through repetition. They built consistency through patience. They fed their hunger through struggle. You can't fake that kind of success. You earn it one decision at a time, one sacrifice at a time, one act of discipline at a time. 2026 will reward those who stay ready, not those who get ready. It will reward those who build daily habits, who commit to small improvements, who keep showing up when the world slows down. Your dreams are not waiting for permission. They're waiting for execution. You've got everything it takes to make this the year that defines you. But it won't come from wishing. It will come from the combination of your discipline, your consistency, and your hunger, all working together day after day until success has no choice but to show up.